If you're looking for places to sell your handmade crafts and products online, you need to watch this video because it's going to save you so much time from making the wrong choice and get you selling on the best platform right now so that you're set up for long-term success and lots of sales. May here, I help makers, artists, and designers make a consistent income selling their handmade products online. We're just gonna jump right into it, okay? So I'm going to order these from worst to last, or worst to best. So we're going to start with the worst, number 5, eBay. Now, I have heard of a few people who used to sell or are currently selling their handmade products or artwork on eBay. The thing is, eBay is not going to be the place for you to build a shop that's memorable and that has a brand. A brand is the experience you give your customers, like with your website layout, your color, your logo, product images. A large part of it is the website itself. eBay is sterile, it's a cold platform. Your customers aren't going to feel anything when they go shop for your products on eBay. They're not gonna even remember what your brand name was. They're gonna just say, I bought this thing on eBay. They're not gonna remember they bought it from Tiny Hands Jewelry on eBay. And a good website that you can fully customize with your brand will make your customers feel something. It's just like they're walking into a brick and mortar store. Imagine one that's taken the time to decorate, find furniture and display pieces that are interesting and unique and colorful, and maybe they've even put on some soft music in the background and some incense. And the person working in the store says hi to you really nicely. You know, that whole entire thing is the experience. Compare that with walking into Walmart. You're not exactly going to feel warm and fuzzy inside. And the same goes for eBay. I think eBay is great for selling on there if you make a commodity product. And what that means is a product that is not very unique and no one really cares if you made it or if someone else made it. So for example, if you're selling Apple iPhones, Nike sneakers, books, vintage fabric, or knitting supplies. eBay is powered by a search engine. It's a marketplace, which means it comes with its own built-in audience of customers. And I know that sounds nice, but keep in mind that eBay takes quite a big cut of your sales. It's around 10%, not counting credit card processing fees or listing fees, or any special add-ons you've bought to make your listing stand out more. I sell on eBay, but the stuff I sell on there are all of my used electronics. Anytime I buy a new gadget like a camera or a laptop or a phone, I always sell my old one on eBay. I'm not selling my brand of jewelry Tiny Hands on there. I know people shopping on eBay are not going to value my jewelry. If you're going to sell your handmade products on there, just be prepared for some really crazy, extreme pricing competition. Overall, not a great place to sell your products, but it has its own place and purpose depending on what you're selling. Number 4 is Facebook. Now, with Facebook, there are several ways to sell on Facebook. There's Facebook Marketplace, which is kind of like eBay or Craigslist. A lot of people are selling used stuff on there, and it's just not a great place to set up a branded experience shop that's going to be a long-term thing for you. There's Facebook groups. I've heard some very creative shop owners who start their own Facebook groups, but how it works is they have a very unique business model where they sell one-of-a-kind products. So they have limited quantities and they launch their product collections in batches. And they release their product collection like once every few weeks. So their products aren't available for sale all the time. I think this works especially well if you sell something that people like to buy multiple of, or in other words, they like to collect. Jewelry is a good example. I don't think this would work as well for you if you sold something that the customer only needed one of, like engagement rings. So they build Facebook groups, and the way it works is if you want to see what's for sale when new stuff comes out, you have to join the group. It's a great way to reach a small group of people who are already really ready to buy from you. I know of maybe 2 or 3 businesses who rely solely on doing just this and are making close to 6-figure sales, if not more, which is great. But again, it's not a common thing to do for various reasons. For one, again, you can't brand the Facebook group. We've talked a lot about branding today and why that's important, right? Two, you have the added responsibility of keeping your group engaged even when you're not selling anything, so that when you do have something for sale, your members will see your sale posts. Because if your group isn't engaged, when you have something for sale, no one's going to see your post. Three, I don't think a Facebook group is the best way to make sales. It's a pretty closed ecosystem. I mean, like, not everyone has a Facebook account, right? You're requiring that people have not only a Facebook account, but also join your group in order to buy from you. That's a lot of steps. You can't take advantage of those impulse purchases where a total stranger finds your products and buys right off your website. Facebook groups just aren't set up for that. Or like, what if someone's looking for a specific gift for a family or friend? They're not going to join a Facebook group and be a part of something like that just to buy a one-time gift. I think a Facebook group is more conducive for people who are buying stuff for themselves, or if they're buying them as gifts, but they're thinking about people who share their same tastes. And finally, with Facebook, there are Facebook pages. There are a couple ways you can do this. You can sell on your page just like you would on a group, and that's probably going to be with comment selling. You can post a picture of the product you have for sale, write a description for it, and say that for anyone who wants to buy it, ask them to comment "sold" on the post. You'll then have to send them a private message with a PayPal invoice link. So it's a pretty manual process, but there are apps you can use to make that automatic. With a Facebook page, if you have a Shopify store, you can also sync your products to your Facebook page, so you have a section on your page that shows your Shopify products for sale. People can buy your stuff directly on Facebook without ever leaving the platform. I make a small percentage of sales from that, but I wouldn't rely on that completely to make me a full-time income. Number 3, we've got Etsy. Etsy is a marketplace site like eBay. It has millions of customers already shopping on there and tons of people looking for products like yours. I think Etsy is a pretty great site to sell on because it's a lot more targeted at handmade products. And I know recently that isn't completely true anymore since Etsy allowed mass manufactured products to be sold on there, but the types of products for sale on Etsy are definitely a lot higher quality and more unique than what you'll find on eBay. Etsy already comes with some great selling tools, and if you know how to do search engine optimization on your product listings well, then you are in a great position to have an Etsy shop that brings you passive sales and income like me. I make several sales on Etsy every month without ever having to do any active promotion on there. In terms of cons, I have so many actually. I can't even fit them all into this one video. So I have made for you a totally separate video talking about how Etsy is bad for you, but in the sense that it's bad for you only if it's all you focus your time and energy on. Etsy shouldn't be your main focus. It should be a side dish, not the main course. And if you're curious to know more about why I say that, check out that video. Number 2, Amazon. Okay, so Amazon, like eBay and Etsy, is a marketplace site. It's got that built-in audience of customers, and it's powered by a search engine. There are a few ways to sell on Amazon. There's Amazon Handmade, there's regular Amazon, for the lack of a better way to call it. And then there's Amazon FBA, which stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. Amazon Handmade was the most recent initiative. Personally, I prefer to sell on just regular Amazon. I've heard that you do get better reach and results with just regular Amazon than with Amazon Handmade. More reach means more visibility, which means more customers, which means more sales. Now, with Fulfillment by Amazon, FBA, what this is you're shipping your products to Amazon's warehouse where they store your products for you. When your product sells, Amazon takes care of packing and shipping that order for you. So you're just shipping one box with a batch of multiple quantities of that same product to them, and they're doing the individual shipping for you. So you ship to Amazon, and Amazon ships directly to your customer. That's the definition of a fulfillment company. Now, of course, there are added fees for that, but in exchange for the extra cost, you get the really cool Prime label on your product listing. This is yet another way to categorize your products. People can filter products based on what is a Prime product listing, which means it's got much faster shipping and it's free shipping too. Your products on FBA will appear in that list. And I don't know about you, but I never buy anything that doesn't have a Prime label on it. It is a huge conversion booster. People are also more likely to buy products with a Prime label on it. I have personally seen my FBA products sell much more, and I make a lot more sales through FBA than on regular Amazon. Having said that, just keep in mind that Amazon isn't cheap if you compare it to Etsy, for example. But also consider that you're reaching a much larger audience than on Etsy. Of course, there are other marketplace disadvantages just like Etsy and eBay where you can't control your branding, you have a lot of competition, you don't really own the contact details of your customers, so you can't send them like emails. So I really don't believe you should make any of these marketplace sites your focus. Instead, just sell on there for the side income and for the sales that you otherwise wouldn't get if you weren't on there. Because one thing you have to understand is the customers on these marketplace sites are going to be totally different customers from the people who shop from you from your own platform. So you don't have to worry about like it being the same people. And think of these marketplace sites as like your sales reps who are doing the work to make you sales. You pay them a higher commission, but the work to get that sale is pretty hands-off. It's all a part of diversifying your income so that your sales aren't coming from just one place. Don't put all your eggs in one basket because that's really scary and dangerous. So finally, with number 1, we have Shopify. And if you know me, you know I always recommend Shopify. And if you don't know me, hello, Shopify. I believe Shopify to be the best place to sell your handmade products online because you can control and customize the entire shopping experience you give to your customers. That means your shop is more memorable. People will remember your shop, tell their friends about you, and they're much more likely to stay loyal to you as a customer. It's a better recipe for long-term success. Shopify also comes with a ton of really cool apps you can add on to your store to help you do marketing for you. So for example, I have an app called Clickly with a K, where it promotes my products for me on my behalf. And when a sale is made, I just pay them a commission that I've set. So the higher you set the commission, the more they promote your products for you. I don't pay them anything else besides the commission. And the way I look at it, I'm making sales through their app that I otherwise wouldn't have made without them. And that's just one example. There are dozens of apps you can install to make your job of marketing your shop easier, which is the hardest part and possibly the biggest disadvantage to a Shopify store. Because it's not a marketplace platform like Amazon, eBay, or Etsy, you don't have the benefit of customers searching for your product. You have to bring your own traffic to your Shopify store, which for a lot of people is very hard to do. But I don't think it's that hard if you know what you need to do. And I have a ton of videos on my channel that show you how. Another disadvantage with a Shopify store that puts people off is the price. It's not the cheapest, but honestly, you get what you pay for. That cannot be more true in this case. And that's a reason I haven't talked about other similar website builders like Wix or Squarespace or GoDaddy or SquareUp, or did I say Squarespace already? Or WordPress, because none of these sites were designed to be a physical product shop the way Shopify was built and designed. Comparing Shopify to all these alternatives, Shopify has the best speed, the best security, the best user experience, which in turn results in higher conversion rates compared to all of those other sites. Shopify is also the biggest website builder site for selling physical products. That means it's got the largest community for support if you ever need help. It's got the best technology, it's always the first to access cool tech and new apps. Like when Instagram came out with the ability to tag your products in your photos, so all people needed to do was tap on your photo and they can go directly to your site to the exact product listing without going to your link in bio, landing on your homepage, and then figuring out where to find that product that they saw on your feed a month ago. That feature is only available to Shopify users. People on Wix or Squarespace or all those other sites as of this recording don't have access to that yet. And seriously, if you're going to choose any of those other sites instead of Shopify because you want to save like $10, really think about it here. You only need to make one extra sale to make it worthwhile. And it's definitely worth it to use the best site out there from the get-go. Shopify is great for beginners, but it's also great for stores who are doing like millions of dollars a year. I recommend you start with Shopify from the very beginning, rather than starting with a different site and then moving on to Shopify years later just because you're trying to save money, because you're gonna spend all of that money just trying to move over to Shopify. Trust me, because I've done a lot of my own moves from one platform to another, and it is painful, time-consuming, and expensive. All right, so there you have it, my breakdown of the top 5 best websites to sell your crafts online. If you enjoyed this, stay on to watch this next video. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below, and if you have any suggestions for other videos you'd like me to make, let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.